Dire team ban.
Not exactly the most ideal situation, just using that reflection to turn a lot of that damage back against the team.
It's a ban without having to ban.
Yeah, pretty much. And it kind of fits the style as well that's going to be good against a lot of Tino's hero picks. You know, he loves going things like the Razor, the Medusa, the Luna, excuse me. So they're not fantastic matchups against the Terrorblade, so I feel like it's a nice one there. So they might need to lean a little bit more into Yopaj's hero for something that is going to counter out that Terrorblade, and that feels like, at least with the Zeus ban, that's what they're looking to remove from the equation.
Yeah, Zeus is like the type of ban where you don't expect it in this current patch because no one's playing it, but back in the Mesti Masters tournament, in the grand finals, the actual final game, Yopaj had a Zeus and he destroyed on it. Like, it was not even close. 24 kills, 2 deaths, something like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, very impressive. So I'd like to see that ban. T1 have done their homework and a half, showing it in the...
Really liking the Doom ban as well. I mean, again, T1 are a very... I mean, Carl, like they mentioned during the interview, it is like Carl can be a very farming style of hero as well, but it still does feel like when worst comes to worst, they just rely on 23 Savage to be the one to carry the game. So, you know, that sort of thing where you remove that from the equation is always going to be a good thing, just to prevent that. And we get to see the Ember Spirit. Let's go!
Yopaj Ember!
We're going to see some Maelstroms coming through. We're going to see plenty of ways to deal with all those TB illusions, those pesky little things. I mean, the one downside, I suppose, is that you're against a Weaver, so you don't have like that amazing lockdown for the Weaver just to be able to stop him from being annoying, and you don't really want to rotate some of these heroes to the side lanes that do have stuns, because at the end of the day this might be a position 5 Weaver that's creating a ton of space for the Terrorblade.
Sure, yeah. I'm thinking maybe there's a chance that they want to pick... Actually, Grimscope. Yeah, Grim is banned. I was going to say it would be nice to have them link that with the Ember. Give it like the extra combo potential to just him, but that'll be taken out. Is Luna in the pool? Is that what they just picked? Oh no,
they got
they
TV
have a
already.
TV.
Yeah.
I'm so dumb.
No, that's all good. That's all good.
No, this okay. So this is just leaning in. Sorry, I was thinking leaning really hard with Ogre and just buffing up their carry
TV,
and making it the win condition.
10 seconds
It's also like you have TB Ogre have like a body that can go in and give vision. Let TB be able to like hit down people. It's really nice, actually, that they can just kind of bundle up as a ball, because I feel like TB is sort of a magnet in fights. He's not exactly like the most mobile hero in the game, so you kind of want everyone to be playing around him instead of like fights getting like scattered around, because TB can't connect quite.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I feel is lacking a little bit from T1 now is just the ability to allow TB to be that body standing there. So at least the Storm Spirit provides a little bit of that initiation. I always tend to go back and forth on what is the stronger hero, because I was speaking with Gunnar relatively recently, and he was talking about the Ember v Storm Spirit matchup. Of course, he's great on both of the heroes. He really feels like prior to the Flame Guard increase, Storm Spirit had the slight edge, but ever since the Flame Guard went up to that 110 damage absorption, now it takes 2 spells to actually look to get through it at level 1, so Storm Spirit isn't quite as strong against the Ember, but still obviously T1 feeling very confident. And if you're coming up against these heroes like the Rubik and, to be honest, the Disruptor as well, they aren't heroes that like to build into a lot of save for themselves, so the Storm Spirit's still going to be a pretty decent pick.
You have the circle strat.
The circle strat is on.
It is on the kinetic field slight arena circles.
What else can we get? Acid spray, alchemist. We're getting an alchemist strat.
Seems good.
Or a Viper. Viper does the circle strat too.
True.
Wonder if Disruptor slipped their mind, because it feels like it's just so good. I really want to see some area control coming out for their lineup, because right now I feel like there's not enough whole place for TB to be able to do the amount of damage that he wants to do. Yeah,
I don't want to say that Boom have like a limited number of strategies, but I mentioned for the first phase bans that T1 did, the Enchantress and the Bane, Disruptor is the clear number 3 for Schem, and they've let it get through all the way to this stage, so it feels kind of like maybe they did forget about it, because not only is it great against the Weaver, it's pretty good against the Terrorblade, great against the Storm Spirit as well, and Circle Strat, I mean, you gotta go Circle Strat.
Yeah, and they have like so much control now in Boom. The Yopaj is going to be doing like a lot of damage, but like they could just pick now a little bit more damage on Tino. It feels like their draft is pretty much maybe something that can take Roche would be nice, maybe a deck builder. I think Wraith King's still in the pool, that could be really nice. I know it's not like fantastic matchup into Terrorblade, but I feel like at this point on Boom, the Terrorblade, with like the new just gonna counter him for so long. Terrorblade doesn't like to buy BKB, so I don't think he'll have it for the first couple of items. If you're able to just start a snowball and boom,
Dire team ban.
get Aegis and go, it makes it really hard for Terrorblade to play.
Well, they get rid of one of those Tino heroes in the Razor. I mean, TA's still in the pool. It's one of those natural Deso builders. It allows you to take Roche, and it's not a horrible TA matchup. I mean, you would have to avoid the Terrorblade a little bit for sure, but it does give you that burst damage to make sure that you're chunking people down if you catch people inside the Static Storm, or you get people pinned to the wall of the arena.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be pretty solid. It's something that they play a good amount as well. It doesn't need to be a Yopage TA for sure. What else could they potentially look to go for? I mean, it feels to me like, even though Medusa isn't bad, it just doesn't provide the same level of tempo that I feel like the rest of their lineup is going to enable them to provide. Oh, as well, like, even with the TA as well, right? You can use the traps just for that little bit of extra vision to potentially get the glimpse off as well.
I haven't seen it very much, but
10
doesn't
seconds
Tino play
remaining.
Morphling? I feel like Morphling could be pretty nice here. It's like a hero with magic burst,
5
which lets you
seconds
like rip
remaining.
health.
And if people get caught in the static, great burst, right?
Yeah, exactly. I just think you have enough control here where you can just focus on getting something that does damage and like
Dire team
and I think it's like a core that can do well. I know it's like okay, I see you, Wraith King.
So, Cuckoo Wraith King, is what we're assuming.
I believe it's probably like that. I've seen, I can't list every team that's done it, but I know at least Liquid have played Wraith King offlane on Zai.
I think Cuckoo's done it once.
Okay.
From memory,
10
but it's
seconds
just
remaining.
I can't recall. It slipped my mind, but that's obviously the reason behind the
5
Razor ban. As soon as they did it,
remaining.
I was like, okay, well, they're just going to pick someone that's a little bit more static on the front lines. Tide's already been removed. Mars, what is really left? And well, Wraith King does need to just kind of stand there to get a lot of his stuff done. Pick that's going to be able to enable this a little bit. I mean, it does still need to be someone that takes objectives. That is a big area that Boom are lacking right now.
Love me.
Don't know if get away with pick. Not that I would want it to counter Wraith King specifically, but like it's just nice into Storm Spirit. They don't have any like super hard lockdown, but I feel like it's really hard for it to find Terrorblade. I feel like more for me is my favorite pick. I know TB buys the Scotty, but like it is the burst that you want, and you have the control already on Boom.
I'd still be fine with a TA as well.
Yeah.
Honest. Either one of those two.
You may now
TL.
select your heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think the only issue PL faces is the bugs latch onto him doppels, so like they will be able to win in a fight if they initiate on him with that. Otherwise, yeah, no, it's great into Wraith King, it's great into Terrorblade. Ogre can't deal at all with the illusion. I don't even know why I let PL. What a nice PL pick.
What a nice PL
What a
pick.
nice
They knew what they
PL
were
pick.
doing the entire time.
Yeah.
Is it nice enough for you guys to think Boom is going to take game number 1?
Honestly, yeah, I don't see how T1 can't deal with the.
It needs to be Carl doing it entirely, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe if it gets like super late and Cuckoo gets level 20, he's got Cleave at least, maybe, to kind of deal with it. But when you think of things that Terrorblade isn't good against, Illusions is pretty much towards the top there. So I think the PL is a very nice pick to be able to round out this draft. So I'm going to go for Boom.
Maybe the PL lane suffers a tiny bit, but I think mid Yopaj should be absolutely. FBC Mars is like definitely that lane top against. If it doesn't, I will learn something.
Well, perfect. Either way, it seems to be a win-win. But this panel is all in for Boom, and I want to know where our casters sit. Gods and Lizard, please take it away for game 1.
Yeah, even the games that I watched weren't really that recent. It's like maybe a month plus ago, and usually it's just the same thing that you do on a carry breaking. The only difference is you take over the enemy jungle earlier, and then you can collapse onto that tier 1 tower on mid with all the skellies, right? So you can pressure very early on, which allows someone like a Weaver on position 4 to get some more farm.
Yeah.
Pressuring the TB.
Okay. You know, pressure Carl in this mid lane. Getting pretty low, but has his bottle coming out and also getting Yopaj nice and low. Yopaj still a little bit away from his. He needs a creep or two to finish off this bottle in the mid lane. Until that point, this could be a bit of a rough mid lane, but it does look like both mid lanes should get their bottles out A-okay here. Yopaj just trying to go for the creeps, not the kills. Down bottom. Tims could be in some trouble here. Gets slowed down by the Ignite and the Fire Blast. 1 or 2 more right clicks. Can he, Savage, get the Metamorph? He gets the slow with the Reflection, and it is going to be enough. 23. Savage gets the kill. No opportunity for Rubik to salve up there.
That's it as well, right? Like, you try to pressure the TB way too much, he pops his meta, and then suddenly you're the one that's having to retreat, so... perhaps over-aggressive a little bit on the side of Boom. Like, Rubik is strong, but level 2 Rubik... not that dangerous, that's scary.
For a lesson.
And now we'll see maybe a couple more levels in this lane can start to swing more in their favor with higher points in the Fade Bolt, the Spear, and some of these other spells, but not going to be the case for the time being. Some of these other lanes, Tino's PL so far farming just fine in the top lane.
Yeah, it looks like their lanes are going well, right? The PL 15 CS, Mars 15 CS on the offlane as well. Ember is the only one that's kind of struggling a little bit for the side of Boom. And I'm surprised, like, this top lane, I feel that it could go way worse for Cuckoo and Zephyr, early on at least. But they've managed to control the equilibrium a little bit, farm under their tower, like they're doing right now.
Yep.
The longer the game goes, obviously, the stronger they become. Weaver's Swarm is not something that Disruptor can deal with, but Zephyr...
Yeah, he's gonna be a little bit careful. Ran in trying to get some harass off, but maybe wasn't ready for that sentry ward, which Boom to get some good damage off from him, but doesn't lead to a kill. Back in the mid lane, Ember and Storm keeping an eye on these two as they both constantly getting very low. It's going to be Storm falling back to grab his bounty room while stacking his small camp. Yopaj may come over and snipe this.
Stupendous!
See if that's going to be the case. He wanted to get the top 4-minute rune, but Zephyr doing a good job rotating in to deny these runes. But bottom room will be secured for the Ember.
Yeah, Team secures it for him. Rubik managed to rotate around and just secure that Yopaj gets at least one of those runes. But it feels so good to be a Weaver in this meta. Like, there's just so many objectives that need you to be there on time. And with that Sukuchi, you can always make it. Secure the runes, stack up camps, doesn't matter. It's not only the lane that you're strong in, it's just everything in the game that you're doing.
The Porch just does a little bit of everything well. But they do have at least some answers for a pesky Weaver in the mid-game. Disruptor looking like a pretty valued pick here when you consider heroes like Storm, Weaver, Terrorblade, who rely on some of their spells to kind of escape or survive. Disruptor does feel like a really nice option for Scam.
Oh, like 100%. Not only later on with the Glimpse and Static Storm, it's the fact that you can actually do well against the Weaver in the lane with Thunderstrike. You can see the level 2 on him. He's
getting very low. Has the 6 charges, so he'll be fine, but very efficient harass coming out from White One with the level 2 Ignite, so seeing the power of this Ogre right now.
Yeah, it's White One. Snacked a little bit too many cookies, turned into Ogre, just destroying the Rubik. It's not fun. Like, he doesn't even have Orb of Venom on the Ogre Magi, and he's still just being able to zone them out alone. Mars doesn't care though.
They're rotating in mid. Yopaj a bit low on mana here. Gonna pop his last bottle charge. Weaver thinking about making a play, but the Ember's already TP'd back to base just for a reset. Feels like the call is let's just play this lane stage passive. Yopaj just using his TP to heal himself up, refill his bottle, and reset things here in the mid lane.
Yeah, you could see actually Rubik TPing from that from the fountain into the rune, protected, but Ogre grabs it. And Cuckoo getting a bit low, but yeah.
Often, yeah, battle between the spirit heroes in the mid lane is going to lead to these power runes being very high value and something that both teams want to prioritize.
Yeah, 100%, because if you're Boom right now, you don't really have enough catch for the Storm Spirit. You can perhaps lift, but you don't even have chains on Ember.
Bottom lane.
Get the kill.
They go in, they want FBZ here. Zephyr's rotated and sets up for a kill. 23 Savage got really low. He was kind of low. He was the bait there to set that one up, and T1 get themselves a nice kill, but they've got to be careful. Carl is being pressured, watching his small camp get kind of stolen here. Gets forced away from it as Yopaj will clear it up.
Yeah, he'd really love to get those creeps that he stacked for himself, but sadly the Rubik rotation allows Ember to steal them. At the same time, the Rubik rotation allows Mars to die on the bottom lane, right? So it all comes with a cost. But one cost that you aren't... Like usually if the position 4 goes safe lane, your off lane is suffering. But Cuckoo isn't, because he's this Wraith King. He can just fall back into the jungle, farm up.
Scam does block the camp, drop a sentry. I think recognizing, T1, they want to play greedy Dota. Let's try and at least delay them as much as possible, cause them some problems. See what Boom's first couple of moves are going to be. They've got the PL free farming away. It doesn't really seem like they're in any rush to make any moves right now, Lizard. Do you think that's going to change sometime soon?
Well, Mars has hit his level 6. I think with one good rune, you can see Yopaj rotating down bottom, pressuring the Mars with the arena. perhaps to try and get that kill. White one
Radiant's top
Has the
tower
remnant,
is
so
under
yep, he'll
attack.
join up with Tim's down there. Wants the white one kill. Has a sleight of fist in 1 second. Gets the kill. And takes out white one.
So they did get the kill on him, but they didn't get the rune on Yopaj, and he's kinda low on mana. Meanwhile, Disruptor rotates mid. You can see that he has 2 enchanted mangoes and smoke of the seeds, so maybe the right play would be to just instantly push out this one wave and smoke up, go bottom. I feel like it should be the right time to try and take out this tier 1 tower on the bottom lane. 23 Savage, like, you cannot allow him to stand in this lane any longer. It's what's enough is enough, right? Like, his supports have long gone and abandoned him. He needs to leave. You need to pressure him out.
Yeah, it's almost unusual. It seems like that's the case for both teams with their carries. 23 Savage on the TB. Usually, 7-8 minutes in the game, TB's either rotated into the jungle or even swapped lanes to the off lane. So a bit surprising to see both these carries having such a good time in their lane, and both teams opting to play this kind of slower, more passive game.
Yeah, perhaps a bit more acceptable for the PL, as he is playing versus a Wraith King. Shouldn't be that hard for him to stay in this lane. But there's a smoke happening from the move that I anticipated for the bottom lane is actually happening for top. Zephyr and Carve.
I'm getting a
Got the Weaver bugs as a way to kind of stay on top of the PL, know which one's the real one, and they lead off with the bugs and the Electric Vortex. Tino gonna try get his way out of there with the Doppelganger, but unfortunately for him, they know instantly which is a real one. The panel mentioned it, Sheepo said it, the Swarm, one of the few pesky things in this game for a PL, and that really makes it easy for T1 to make that gank work.
Yeah, and they didn't really get a lot out of it. Disruptor scam, he stacked a couple of camps, Rubik as well. So basically, they're accepting this fate, and Scam right now, he's going to get the Owen here.
Yeah, shows himself in the top lane, and Cuckoo's there to meet him, but does get the TP out, but that could just open up this top lane for the taking as T1. They want to get this T1, but Tino just TP's in very boldly, happy to feel like he can defend this on his own, is going to need some backup, and that's going to come initially from Tim's Rubik, TPing at a tier 2, so Boom looking to defend their top lane.
Yeah, Carl though, look at what he's found.
over here.
Oh, Carl found himself a juicy looking Rubik kill. Kims gets the lift out, but with the Wraith Fire Blast there, Carl has to just get out of there. The Mars TP rotation, FBZ. He shows up to the party, takes out Cuckoo to start things off, and 2 kills go the way of Boom.
Under attack.
Yeah, Yopaj instantly goes back mid, defends the tower, also takes the rune. Meanwhile, I don't know if anyone can handle. Okay, FBZ is gonna go for it. He's going to take these stacks, and yeah, a little bit of over-aggression there from T1, going a bit too deep there.
I was going to say, yeah, it feels like they forced it a bit, and because of that, they get pushed out of top, and suddenly, Boom's able to farm up all these stacks and really, feel like they've got some breathing room.
They had a very nice deep ward that scouted the dire jungle, and it is what baited them into this false sense of security. Let's go in, let's fight. But
yeah,
when PL is already there on the tier 1, it's so easy to surround them, punish them for that invasion.
Yep. They're kind of the ones with the, at least for now, well, the greedier draft. Like, the Mars is more than ready to TP in and start taking some of these fights, and same story with the Ember. Now that he's managed to get his hands on some of these power runes, he's got an Arcane rune, level 9. Boom. Got to imagine they're ready to fight around this Mars and Ember. They're both kind of hitting some early game power spikes.
Yeah, you can see that on the mid lane, Ember is smoked up, setting up for the kill and perhaps to take down the tier 1 tower, but their problem is no chains, right? It's kind of a standard build, 0-4-4 on Ember. So even if you smoke up, how do you actually engage? Like, how do you set up a fight? It's very difficult. You don't have Blink Dagger on the Mars. You don't have a level 6 on Rubik. I feel like that's the reason why they picked this Rubik, to be able to steal that Sokuchi and actually be the first one up front in the mid game.
Need to find a way for Tims to get his level 6, 12 minutes in, and he's not quite there. He's just about to reach it. They prioritized Disruptor getting Static Storm to make some ganks, but unfortunately for Boom, that didn't quite pan out initially, but now Tims has had has hit level 6, so we'll have that opportunity to steal Shikuchi if he can find the Weaver.
Yeah, and it's understandable, right? Getting that static storm usually does pay out earlier on Disruptor than on Rubik. And that first static storm usually nets you a kill, so...
Yeah, they're probably thinking, how do we start making some moves? They see T1, you know, playing aggressive. They want to fight. They want to look for that next good fight. It is even in terms of gold, but seeing the net worth of some of these heroes, it's, you know, a bit of a farm disparity between the TB and the rest of the kind of cores in the game. But at the same time, Boom have good farm on all 3 of their core heroes, so they probably aren't too concerned right now.
It definitely feels like Boom is taking more out of the map, evenly. Boom, what's happening here?
You say it doesn't look like SC. I would even add, if this doesn't look like any of the regions, this is both teams playing like, I don't know if it's nerves or just like maybe a place. It seems maybe more like a playstyle choice with that greedy drafts, but almost every region we're watching these teams where it's like, okay, you know, 10 minutes in, you rotate to the off lane, try to take a T1 tower, enemy does the same. This time around, none of those big rotations.
Yeah, but they're rotating mid.
Yep. They feel like they've got their items. The defusals come out on the PL, so he can actually get involved here. Tino's ready to fight. Cuckoo can't rely on his ultimate. They get a great FBZ blink. Arena fall, but he gets the reincarnation off. Tino couldn't burn enough of his mana, but the second life from Cuckoo could still be taken away by Boom if they want to get it, but they're going to be forced back here. The Storm's kind of bowling on in. He's got a almost full mana pool to start things off here. Burning through it quickly, though. He's got to be careful. Tina's pretty tanky. With the Street Chains and Fluffy Hat, he manages to doppel walk his way out of there, and it's a spear on a Cuckoo on the front lines. As the Sun gets stolen here, Sunder from 23 Savage saves him and keeps him alive on the front lines here with the armlet being toggled back on Cuckoo. Still alive for now. The Searing Chains locks him in place. The Storm re-jumps here. He wants to go back in. Tim's is low. Should be a kill for the Storm. That's the first kill after like a minute of fighting here. And the second kill could be yukk on the Ember if he's not careful on the backlines. The Static Storm is off the mark here. Weaver Shikuchi's away back to the safety of the high ground here. Zephyr, can he be hunted? It doesn't look like it. All of that. Lizard, we got 1 kill.
1 kill and that's it. We got Rubik. Do we count the kill on the Raid King?
Yeah, I love one reincarnation. I think you count.
Yeah, okay, but only level 1. We'll give that to
half
them.
Half a kill.
Like crazy teams. He even almost survives. He stole a really nice time lapse over there. When Storm jumped him, he manages to get back to full life. One problem is Zephyr, he was cutting the backlines. He went on top of Scam and Mars, but like oddly, they didn't communicate well. They popped the Static Storm, and then he gets speared out of the Static Storm instantly. So that's why it was off the mark. By the time Kinetic Field got up, the spear had already taken him out of it. So yeah, like damn, it's such a long fight, no kills. Crazy.
Yeah, you see this Boom drop and you expect them to be able to get killed with a blink on Mars, but just really good defensive play, posturing from T1, keeping these kind of tankier heroes on the front line. And yeah, between, you know, Storm, TB, and Race Team, they've all got pretty decent HP, and they're not easy kills by any means.
Spear, blink. Yeah, this should be killed, right?
They're like, let's go to the support. These cores are too hard. The Static Storm on top of the Storm. He needs to get out of this kinetic field. Is the damage going to be there? Storm will get out in a second here. The Searing Change is going to be off the mark.
It's the Ember.
I believe. Oh, Ember goes down. And Boom are going to have to maybe just back out of here and hope they can keep FBZ alive. A quick pause coming out here. They went all in on that Storm and the Static Storm, and they just couldn't quite bring him down.
Okay, lag, Dota 2, all of this stuff explains it a little bit, because to me it feels like I'm not watching the same patch. I'm like, remember the last series that we casted? I would call it interesting because it was sloppy. I'm not saying that this game is sloppy. It's just different. Like they're making moves that you don't necessarily always expect to see, like this dive on the ogre on the tier 1 tower, not taking tier 1s on the safe lanes. Like you called it earlier. It's a different approach to the game. Even this skill on the Storm Spirit, I think they had it, but
we've got a replay here.
Yeah,
they committed so hard. What do you think? Like, what prevented them from getting it? Was it just not enough damage, or did they misuse their spells?
I don't think they misused their spells. Static Stone was there, Arena was there, and then FBZ goes back together with the Disruptor, while Ember is committing. So Ember commits. I believe he missed the chains, but that's about it. I think if Mars commits, he dies, and he trades his life for the Storm, which in my opinion would have been worth it.
Yeah, Ember at the end, I guess there was just a few too many targets. I think even some TB illusions around him, meaning the Searing Chains couldn't quite latch on. And well, for Boom, they'll have Ember respawning soon, but they're now down a couple thousand gold. They have still got this PL factor playing into TB and Wraith King. That was another thing that didn't quite go right for them in that previous team fight, was killing Cuckoo and preventing him getting off Reincarnation. When they go on him and have the PL diffuse on their side, they're expecting to be able to kill him without Reincarnation popping.
Yep. One craziest thing that I'm seeing right now in this game is that Cuckoo is disregarding the initiating factor completely, and he's just going straight into Radiance. So Armored Radiance, that's it. Like, look at me, I'm the true carry now. That's Cuckoo.
Yeah.
Radiant
Probably got TV thinking like, what the hell's going on here? 23 Savage is like, this is not what I agreed to. I need to, check the terms of my contract. Nice Blink Spear mid. Carl. He zipped into it, going for some creeps, and FBZ was there ready for him.
Yeah, really nicely played there with God's Rebuke, with the spear.
Is under attack.
Catches the Storm Spirit off guard. I'm surprised they're not pressuring this tower. Why not take it? There we go. They're gonna go in, I suppose. Yeah, you need to continue. Yeah.
And Skem is set up. If anyone comes to defend it, he can, offer a glimpse threat where you find yourself another kill. So free T1 tower because they killed the Storm, and T1 nothing they can do to defend it right now.
If you look at it that way, with Cuckoo's item build, what it does is, yeah, it gives you the Radiance later on, which is really nice, right? The burn, the mischance versus all the illusions, it's great, but Storm is forced to be the one that initiates. Like, he is your only initiating tool at the moment. That doesn't feel great.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Well, when he gets his Radiance and potentially Blink Dagger afterwards, is that where you think things will start to look a whole lot better for T1?
We can discuss it. It's arguable because usually by the time your offlaner gets all these items, your team is falling behind, right, James?
Yeah. Wasn't expecting him to get out of this one. It was a nice game coming up there, but he's actually shoots into the trees, ignite damage. Yeah, he throws a phase bolt. And elsewhere, they've gone in and killed the Storm again.
The Weaver, right? Both of them.
Yeah. Wraith King, meanwhile, bottom lane, Tino's looking for a solo kill into Cuckoo, but doesn't have the damage, and Cuckoo will just keep himself back to base.
Now, this is kind of what I meant. Your offlaner isn't really able to do a lot on the map. He's able to farm, and that's about it. I guess you can force fights, force objectives. Like just running into the pit or running on that tier 1 tower with reincarnation, right? Like, you can do those kind of plays, but you don't have a Mars with a Blink Dagger. You don't have initiation.
Yep. And usually, like, yeah, you play like this offlane Wraith King going full greed. It's surely going to come at a cost, and this game, it hasn't come at a cost of the TB's farm. It's the Storm's game who is really struggling. Like you say, he's kind of going to be the initiation. He's also just the one who doesn't have any farm for himself on this map.
Now rekindle.
Yep, they're taking away way too much. Zephyr.
Yeah, dude, go for the time lapse. Get a sentry here, the glimpse back. He's still maybe okay, but the Searing Chains will catch him. One looking for the setup onto Yokka. He gets the Fire Blast, and with 23 Savage backing him up, they get the kill on Ember, and Weaver even escapes with the life skin. Should be next hit. Carl for his team, as T1 have shown up at the perfect time to punish Boom's over-aggression.
Yeah, you put it very nicely, over-aggression. When you're going that deep, 2 tier 2 towers are alive around you. maybe you can kill something like an Ogre or a Storm if you catch them, but Weaver is a little bit harder. He's got that time-lapse. The glimpse was on point, but it took him way too far out. Ember had to dive a bit too deep, and then he gets controlled. But overall, Tino does have that Manta and Diffusal now, so if you're Boom, you definitely do want to be fighting all the time. I believe a smoke will come from them very soon.
And well, PL perhaps the ultimate late game carry this game, but also going to be a very strong force here in the mid game. Nothing stopping him from getting involved at this point, and T1 going to have to be careful and kind of respect what he brings to the table.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
One nice thing that they do... one nice thing that they do have besides the Radiance that they're going for is Weaver's build. He's going for straight to Gleipnir, so not only for PL but for the Ember as well. The Shard plus Gleipnir is also really nice. Shard plus Maelstrom, that is, on Weaver.
Yeah, not too far away from the Maelstrom at least. We're halfway through, so he'll be getting there in some time. Bottom lane though, Boom, with their strength and the power of this PL, they're just going to walk up and take a tier 2 tower. They want to defend their own tower though. They can take this enemy outpost and get themselves a kind of map control advantage. They'd be very happy with this. One of the things I'm curious about, often in these like solo-paced games, teams are going to start really playing around Roshan. We're not seeing that yet, but do you see Roshan, you know, starting to play a bigger part fairly soon?
I feel like both of the teams don't have the best Roshan taking capabilities. Like T1 perhaps a little bit easier, simpler for them. It depends if you get a good pick-off or not. It's not like you have a little Shredder plus Medallion plus, I don't know, TA, right? There's a Weaver on one side, which is always helpful with the Swarm. Also, there's more damage, I feel like, coming from T1 into the pit, so... perhaps if they can get a pick-off or two, they can try for it. Once that Radiance is done, then
yeah. They've got the Radiance now. The Blink a little bit further away. It's going to make this Storm's life so much easier. And yeah, Carl with a BKB, only 100 gold away. T1 do appear to be hitting a pretty decent power spike fairly soon. I mean, that Boom may not be quite so ready for.
Maybe this is something that T1 has prepared exactly for Boom. Maybe they thought, okay, these guys, they like to take it a bit slower, at least versus us. To adapt to that, let's just be as greedy as possible, because this is ultimate greed from T1.
Ember tries to get the rune. He's on bottom, but now he's going to be running, grab the rune, force down his BKB. They get the spear follow-up onto the Storm. Have they got the damage to bring him down? The Master get the arena. No, fill off the Storm. FBZ coming in to save the day. The Sandstorm follow-up is there, and that's going to be enough to kill the first life of the Wraith King. He's going to be respawning, but he's lost his Ogre as well in the time being. 23 Savage on the TV being forced back. Tino going to burn through his entire mana pool, and Cuckoo on the respawn is just going to die a second time. They've killed off 3, they want 4. 23 Savage turns. Sun, does he wants to fight? Can he BKB TP out? Anything to cancel it? No.
That's straight rush, right? Like you just killed 3 heroes. Yeah, your team does not take rush very easily, but when you get such a good team fight, you go straight into it. And Yopaj was like, step aside, boomers. Like, my fingers are way quicker. He's the one that broke the smoke, and he pops that BKB and takes the double damage rune in front of their asses. Like, that's Yopaj is such a player, man. Like,
so ballsy. Like, he made the move top to try grab the room with the flame remnant in and out, and it didn't spawn there. But then he's like, okay, I'm just gonna walk up. They're going for the road steal. Storm, he gets instantly lifted up and stunned and disabled, and that's another kill going their way. He wasn't even close to getting the timing right on the Roshan, so another kill goes Boom's way.
You know what that is? That's okay, Wraith King, you wanna take all my farm?
It's under attack.
You wanna take all my farm?
Yeah.
And then you zip into the pit.
Well, we'll see a replay of that last fight. It was such a good play from Yopaj to get the BKB off, and then FBZ shows up to follow it up. Gets the spear into the side of the wall with the arena, and the Static Storm on top just made this all too easy for Boom Esports.
just a clean fight, right? And everyone is attacking the right target. The spear is there after the reincarnation. The PL is on top of TB. 23 Savage, she understands to be able to survive, pop that Thunder, be TP out. At least he survived, which is destined for them, as he now has that Skadi as well completed.
Yeah. And it looked, well, both those deaths is like, you know, I'm sure people are like, oh, Storm, you know, past BKB and stuff, but he doesn't want to BKB off the Searing Chains. Mars fast for getting bested by it being kind of the reaction battle.
Yep.
That he gets it off in his future.
Arena, mid lane.
Yeah. That's great king.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Limps him back and yeah, it's got an ultimate here, but backup is a little bit far away, but T1 are looking like they want to come and take this fight here. Yopaj being committed to beat. Cuckoo doesn't get caught by damage, will help his buddy out. This is everything, and Yopaj will go down to one more right click. Carl, he committed his entire mana pool. Now the question is, can he get out? And it looks like when the Weaver zone him away, he'll be A-okay.
They're extremely greedy from Bull. They had the ages, but they didn't have people around, and they go on the Raid King. They popped some miscommunication happening between. No, it's actually not ideal using that call.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happens. And Raid King is very tanky with that second life, so if you don't kill him very fast, you will be punished for it 100%.
PL looking to take a page from his book. He's now tanked up his way to a hard mask. Have they got the damage to kill the
Radiant's
PL?
top tower is under attack.
Do they beat it? Not even in late game, just right now with these items.
To say, I feel like you have to deal with everyone else and then deal with him, perhaps.
Okay. The PL just take advantage of
has been killed.
damage output, maybe.
Yeah, just kill off the Disruptor, the Rubik, up into
Radiant's middle
follow up
tower
into
is under
the
attack.
PL kill.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
If they're able to kind of execute the team fight the way they need to here, gonna let their mid tower just get poked away at, and yeah, Yopaj did end up BKBing here. He's gonna actually force 23 Savage
Radiant's
to BKB
middle
TP
tower
out
is
as
under
well.
attack.
So both cores using a BKB charge.
Radiant structures
Tino, meanwhile,
are fortified.
just going on top of that tier 2
Radiant's
tower on the mid
middle
lane,
tower is under attack.
taking that out. But there's definitely ways for T1 to fight. With the Blink Radiance on Raid King,
Radiant's
I feel
middle
that they
tower
can
has
eliminate
fallen.
the squishier targets. Plus they have that Glide Mirror on Zephyr. They're getting there, they're getting the damage that's needed.
And now they'll at least stall it out to maybe just at least wait for this Roshan Aegis to expire. Only 1 minute left on it, and they've done a good job, you know, still finding farm. You've got Storm farming up the jungle in the top lane, pushing it out, and making sure that the farm discrepancy between the two teams doesn't continue to increase. And even though Boom have had nades, they managed to get themselves a 1K. He gets speared into the trees here. There's no follow-up initially. He's gonna, just all TP.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Like you said, they're just waiting for the Aegis to run out. You can see the way that they're playing T1. As 23 Savage pressuring the bottom lane with illusions all the time, farming the enemy triangle a little bit, and that's what's very interesting about these two wards that are in the enemy.
Blink in. The BKBs out of fear of the Wraith Fire Blast. That's going to pull Cuckoo back into the T1 mid tower. Yopaj has to kind of run himself away without a BKB. He's going to be careful how he takes his fight. The Storm zipping in on the backlines here. He's caught the Disruptor. Can he finish off the kill? Carl, he's a bit low on mana here, but elsewhere his PL has just shredded his way through the Wraith King. And Weaver going down as well means this fight is all but over for T1. They're in full retreat. BKB TP out from 23 Savage. Doesn't look like they'll find any follow-up kills unless they can get Carl here. He's a bit low on mana. They may be able to chase him down. That's exactly what Yopaj wants to do. He sees Carl. He's hungry. Like a shark in the water, he smells blood, and Carl is out of mana here. No mana on the Yopaj's Ember Spirit, but I don't think it's going to matter as Carl has the Static Storm dropped on top of his head, and he will go down.
Yeah, T1 again, they're trying that play in which they just go up front with the Raid King and hope that they can fight afterwards, after his reincarnation that is. And it sounds solid, but you're playing into an arena, and you're playing into all these spells that are so easily just set up in the arena where you're fighting, right? So the Static Storm, the arena as well. Weaver, I don't know what he was doing. Zephyr, in all honesty, he just got caught by the arena together with the Storm Spirit. Storm zips out, Zephyr just dies. I don't think you even noticed him, right? Like, in that fight, he didn't do anything. So, need to approach the fight a little bit more carefully there.
Can't really afford to go on Yopaj when you can just, you know, easily click his BKB, as we've seen a few times. They don't have the chain disable to really threaten to kill him before the BKB comes off. And off of that, Boom are just going to walk up, take their first racks of the game. 31 minutes into the game. They've got themselves a racks advantage and a 4K gold lead, not the biggest of leads. You know, kind of late game potential of T1 with this 3 carry draft. They've got that Raid King off lane with a Armlet Radiance, so definitely not a scenario where they're completely out of this one just yet.
Definitely not, but this smoke feels a little desperate at least, but they have to do something like that. They need to engage and find the right target. It's just that the amount of their control is so very low. Like you called it earlier, Raid King's fast and arena mid.
Arena Spear, call Cuckoo. He's got the shot, so not really in any threat of going down here to the PL. Going to throw aways first, like with the Storm following up. Carl, he's looking for the Phantom Lancer, but the PL kind of gets away for the time being. They want PL. Tino gets caught by the Vortex with the TB. Minimal damage, they've got the PL. Great find from T1. They found a new target they want to prioritize. Tim's looking for the TP out, but he'd been detected, and 2 kills go T1's way.
Who would think that this PL would die that quickly and easily to them? Just good control. And here I was just saying a second earlier they don't really have too much. But yeah, Tino a little bit abandoned by his teammates. Obviously the arena used earlier, they didn't have anything to save him.
Yep, no pass.
No push.
Goes in solo with the... He wants to what? Here's the clean here, and Cuckoo's there for the follow-up. They're gonna bring him down.
There's the he doesn't see it because of the remnant.
The couriers are all going out. One courier,
the courier will give it away.
Kill the couriers.
Oh, you're giving
They realize? Look,
they still don't realize.
no, that's a. I mean, gem 900 more. Well, 900 gold swing plus. You're losing the gem plus gaining. It's an 1800 gold swing. If they can grab that one, there's another courier. PL's is coming for it. He's like, it's my turn.
Dire's middle tower
This is sick.
under
Yeah.
attack.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Radiant even have a ward where the gem is, but they just don't realize. Oh, they see it now. They're pinging the courier. I think they realize what's happened.
Okay. Sure.
Just Dota 2 things.
Yeah. There were times like long ago when you would try to mask the gem by planting a tree or something like that, right? But I haven't seen this one.
That's
before.
not even that boomerish. You know, the real boomer one is you deny the gem when you're about to die. They made it so you can't deny gems anymore because everyone would do that. You're about to die, you drop on the ground and you kill it.
Blast from the past with Grandpa Parker and Blizzard.
Yeah, you're just the first generation boomer. I'm like third generation boomer.
Yeah, you're definitely a grandpa here. All right, T1 with another smoke going towards that Dire jungle, setting up for the next rush, which is up already. So if they get a good fight around this high ground, this game could easily completely swing in their favor.
Yeah. We've seen it. They can figure out which is the real PL, which maybe these Weaver bugs will serve that purpose. This TB with all the buffs, the Bloodlust, the Solar Crest, if he's attacking the real PL, that fight can go their way.
Now you even have Aghanim's in store.
I'm on. They go in. This is just an ogre, though. A lot committed. BKB on the Mars within the arena, but he's got a refresher. That's why he doesn't mind using all of this just for a support.
This can be very dangerous, though. Arcane Rune. on the Storm.
Dire's top tower
They still want to
is
fight.
under attack.
They've got this ward advantage on the high ground here. They want to fight underneath it. The Storm goes in with the Arcane Rune. FBZ with his second arena plus the BKB. He's trying to keep them at bay here, but 23 Savage on the Metamorphosis TP. He's charging forward. They found the real BL, but Tino gets off a Doppelwalk. His bug's been dealt with. And Ogre going to buy back for this fight with the Disruptor buying back as well. Both teams wanting to make sure they win this fight, which will be second Roshan.
Yeah, no one's really getting anything there, right? The Scam dies, White Mom buybacks, Scam buybacks, but you can't really fight it. You can't fight the Rush any longer. TB still has that meta, but they smoked up.
It's too late. And I guess that's what T1 did get, is they won the cooldown battle, because Mars used BKB Refresher. He used double BKB, double ulti, and they didn't win the fight, whereas TB, his Metamorph was still going.
Yep, exactly. Can they catch Carl here, maybe?
Falls out of there. Carl has got the Axe Shard, so he gets that Overload activation.
Do you love me as he zips away?
He's been spamming that all game. It is
Radiant's
creepy.
middle tower is under attack.
The Storm is so huge right now. Like, Carl has the Agnes, he also took the Shard, so he has that Overload to work with. The AoE as well.
We haven't been seeing much Storm. It feels like, you know, the Ember's been like the go-to spirit. Even Void Spirit's being picked up more. Are you seeing this game and what Carl's done? Are you feeling like Storm is a bit underrated, or was this just like a good Storm game?
It's a decent Storm game, but I'm surprised that in SEA Storm isn't as popular, because in, let's say, in the Chinese region, Storm is picked up quite a lot. It's like Storm, Queen of Pain, Puck. Ember is actually not the one that's picked as much there. They're all kind of similar, right? Like these flashy heroes for very high-skilled players on the mid lane that can create space and play make in the mid game.
Now Carl gonna have a lot more aggressive playmaking potential with an Aegis in hand. Storm, one of the best Aegis heroes in Dota. You can see Boom, the way they're playing positioning. They understand they're the ones kind of, at least for now, with this Aegis in play on the back foot.
Yeah, they don't want to fight, not only because of the Aegis, it's also the Butterfly that's completed on 22 Savage. So they're waiting for the MKB to be there for Tino. The only question is, does he buy it out, or does he save for buyback as well, or something like that? Because it will be dangerous to just complete that MKB.
But 200 or 300 gold away from it, so we'll find out soon enough. He found his way down towards his bottom lane. Looks like he's going to buy out. Get him the pieces and wants it for this next fight.
If you think about it, T1 will definitely force a fight with the Aegis, so you need to have everything necessary to take down 23 Savage's TB. There's the smoke. The force of the fight is coming. They have been smoking under a ward, I believe, though.
What about it?
But now Tim's is still just shoving out this bottom lane, perhaps not minding if the smoke comes his way, if he dies or whatever it may be. You know, he just wants to make sure keeps the pressure on in terms of the creep waves, and yeah, he'll throw out one last Fateful, then TP himself out of there, knowing that something may be coming his way, and just pulse around this high ground. Charging forward is 23 Savage. Dire Ward on the cliff, so they know exactly what's kind of coming their way.
You can see FBZ as well. FBZ just waiting to break the smoke. He knows where they are, more or less, just if they're smoked or not is perhaps not as clear. MKB has been completed.
Not minding a fight, say Boom, at least if it's on their terms, on their side of the map, maybe around this ward. So they've got both teams just dropping wards around this mid lane. Knowing where their opponents are, knowing that this fight could break anytime. They get the telekinesis, start things up on Carl, the root follow-up. They're trying to bait out his BKB, but Carl, he's not biting. He knows he's got the protection of that Aegis, so he's wants to hold on to it.
Yeah, you really don't want to be fighting if you're Boom. You're not only playing versus Storm with Aegis, you're playing versus this Wraith King that has second life. 5v7, literally, so better to wait it out a little while longer.
Get their wish if they don't run into T1 anytime soon. The Storm's a bit far away, but to the mid lane, 23 Savage. He smoked up himself with a ninja gear. Looking like they want to pressure this tier 2 mid tower. Yopaj, he's around, but not looking to put himself too much in harm's way.
And TB that you mentioned is just so big. Like, if you look at his items that right now, he has that Babel is completed, and there's the problem with Boom and how they're playing right now is that they were stuck together for way too long, so they weren't necessarily farming. It was mostly Tino. And now they smoke up as the Aegis is about to expire.
Very common play though, so something that T1 may read coming their way. But they've got Wraith King. Kind of alone. He's got backup not too far away. The Storm going to go bowling in. He scouts out the smoke and then immediately zips away. Very heads-up play from T1. Felt like they read exactly what Boom were doing there. As I think it is the case with these high-level teams. You kind of know your opponents might smoke out with the Aegis expiring.
And now they're the ones smoking out, and they know exactly where Boom should be. Storm zips in. Scam.
Yep. Oh, it didn't have detection though. Carl, he needed some kind of detection. He's going to find a new target in the Mars. Is there any follow for him? Carl getting a bit low mana here. He's going to be a little bit careful. Has the BKB. But with Cuckoo blinking in to follow this one up, they want to burst on SBC. He did get an arena off. He gets off a second refresher. Has another arena if he wants to use it here. The route onto the Storm. Is he going to go for a spear of any kind? They've already lost the TB to start things off here, but the PL in the backline's trying to get Cuckoo, but Cuckoo, TP out, he'll be safe. But 2 heroes drop for T1.
Yeah, they get the TB over there.
Yep, Weaver will get off his BKB, gets the kill onto Kids. He's trying to Shukuki his way out of this one, but unfortunately for him, there's no escape. They see him, and with the gem on Yopaj, they bring down the Weaver.
His BKB ran out just in time for that arena to catch him in, lock him in. So they get 3 heroes for 2 in the perfect fight, seemingly, for Boom. But I feel like it was perfect more because of the force from T1. Storm Spirit zipping in so hard meant that he didn't truly have enough mana to follow up afterwards. Once the BKB is used and all the mana, like, he can't truly fight any longer, so he's putting everyone else in a worse position. I really feel that T1 could have taken this fight way better if they just held their horses and approached it differently.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Carl kind of missed some of the creeps on his ball lightning through. He doesn't have a TP for a little bit, but he's going to get a second creep wave down bottom, so maybe T1 willing to accept 1 lane of racks dropping here, but not trying to make sure they don't lose more than just the 1 lane.
Well, they
will be back up in a second. Yep. He can go for that second lane. The Weaver will be back in 15 seconds unless he wants to use a buyback, which I don't imagine is the case. It seems like T1 are just playing keep away as they continue to split push out that bottom lane, waiting for these heroes to respawn.
Everyone else has TP'd in though for the side of Boom. I don't know if they want to be waiting any longer because they pretty much have everything that they need. And the double damage rune has spawned, so... Man, T1 just fell apart so hard in that last fight. It was literally anyone's game. They were even 6-7k ahead. And then you just get into this cascade of bad decisions, or bad moves. One Storm zips in, then Wraith King goes in, then Terrorblade, it's like one after another.
Yeah, and we're seeing how it is a struggle for them to start these team fights off. Compare that to Boom with FBZ. He's just going to blink in an Arena Spear the first hero he sees. And if they don't react fast with a BKB, it can just set the kill. And even if it's a support, he's got that refresher, so the ability to go for 2 rounds of BKB plus Arena Spear is such a threat.